Okay, what I have here is a windshield wiper motor for a 1987 Dodge Dakota. I couldn't find a video on it anywhere. Bear with me because I'm not the best at filming and talking at the same time. Alright, this is the inside of the motor itself. Okay, I already cleaned up most of this. The issue with my motor is why mine wasn't working was these, I don't know the name of it actually. Hold on, let me see if I can set up a better view. Just pull it out a little bit. Okay, as you can see, you see that copper right there? Well, these carbon brushes is what these little things are called, which they're not hooked in right now, but are supposed to touch that, send the electrical current through the motor, causing this apparently to become electromagnetic, which spins, this is the cap that goes around it by the way, which spins the motor using electromagnetic force against I think these magnets are, I forgot what those magnets are called, but they're basically all-time magnets. Anyways, excuse my lack of terms, but when I get the clip, like I said, I already took this all apart, and normally there's a clip right here. If you look very closely, you see that little crease in the drive rod thing that takes a C-clip, and so then it'll normally sit back a little bit, and then then I could release these carbon, or whatever these things are called again. Anyways, so then I just lift the wire out of that slot, and it'll push back on that, and then get the electrical current going. It has things labeled, the G for ground, L for low, H for high. If you follow these two wires out, these go on the outside of the motor, so when you're testing the motor, you only hook up one, which I would hook up the low, because I'm not exactly sure how it all works yet, but no one had any videos, pictures of anything of this apart, and so I wanted to share that. These are the gears. In order to pull all this apart, it was held in by different clips, so I had to pry on this side right here. This clip held down this gear right on this, sorry, and then so you got to pry that clip up. I don't have the best way of doing it. I just used a flat head and just did the whole twist method to pop it up until I got it off. It was a pain in the butt. This one right here, I didn't know. I used a hammer and I knocked it out because this is the drive. As you see, this is like the drive shaft part that goes to like the actual mechanism that drives the windshield wipers. And that was held in by a little C-clip. I think that's what these are called. And in order to get to it or to see it, you had to pop this off. It was a rubber part, and it goes over this. I didn't know it popped off, so I just didn't take it off. But anyways, yeah, so that would make it easier to pull it out of there. My motor, another reason it probably wasn't running so well, other than the buildup on here that was causing no electricity to go through, is an intense amount of dried up grease. I haven't cleaned it all off. As you can see, this is like hard as plastic, or almost as hard as the plastic. It's like wax instead of like grease. That's supposed to be like lubricating it. And so I'm sure that led to it not working as well. I haven't tested it yet to see if I actually was able to get it running, but this will give you an idea of what the inside of this looks like. I'm sure I could answer questions about it since I already got it apart and I'm putting it back together. If you have any, make sure you test things like wires with multimeters. You know, these go to the carbon brushes, so you just test this end of it to follow it out to the end of the carbon brush. Make sure you got some connection there. I used the ohms setting. Someone suggested the lowest ohm setting, so I just put it on 200 on my ohm meter. Just touch one side to the other, etc., etc. Yeah, that's it. I'll show a picture of when I got it back together, maybe a video of me testing it a little later. Once you're ready to test the motor, make sure you release these. I showed them just a second ago with them back. There's springs in there that push them up against the copper. So make sure you release all of those, high, low. As you can see, they're no longer in that little groove that holds them back. That groove, I think, is just meant for when you're doing work on the motor, so you can put that spindle through there without having to hold 3 things at once. I want to show real quick how I tested to make sure I have connectivity. Again, I am on the lowest ohm reading, just 200. I'm gonna turn it on. 1 indicates full resistance, basically. I don't even know if that's a correct term, but anyways, it's hard to do, so bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the ground. This is the ground one right here. Oh, you can't see it. Okay, what I'm gonna do is put the black on the ground, and I'm just gonna hold it there, so you're not gonna see that part, but I'm holding it there. And I'm gonna bring the other one over here to the black and the white wire on this side. And I'm gonna make sure my carbon brushes are getting connectivity. So, touch it up in there. Okay, you can't see it right now, so I have that there and the other one over there. I'm running out of fingers, hold on. Let's use my body. Oh, didn't work. Okay. Let's try it this way. Like that. Okay. This is funny. Okay. Got it up in there, and as you can see, I'm getting resistance, but not a lot of resistance. Okay. That was the low wire. Right? Sorry, bear with me again. Okay, and let's wait for it to focus. Okay, now I'm going to test the high wire. Like, again, a little resistance, but it's about the same. So I would say that that's a good thing. Anyways, for my testing of the motor, what I did is I put one of these bolts back in so I can ground it. And then I'm just going to use another wire to hook to positive, and then this wire I'll hook to the negative on the battery and just run that test after I put the casing back on the motor. Cut to a different thing. I know it's a whack video, but bear with me here because maybe some of you need to see this. Okay, so like I said, I have my ground hooked up there. I took the ground wire, just hooked it to the ground on the battery. I don't know if this is a safe method to do all this. I'm sorry if some of you are like, oh, that's bad. Anyways, so like I said, I'm gonna hook it to the low, so I got the wire just shoved in the low. I didn't put any ends on these because, you know, what's the point? Then I'm just gonna touch it to that to see if I got a spark over. Oh yeah, and look at that little spark. Ooh, spark it. Anyways, so before this was not working, and how I ended up getting it to work was cleaning those copper things where the carbon brushes touch. Like I was saying earlier, how I cleaned them, some of you guys might be wondering. Sorry, I'll just go show you real quick. This was the simplest way for me to see to do it because I didn't have any sandpaper. Someone said use 1000 grit sandpaper. I used a wire wheel, and this is, I think you're supposed to use copper on light material like that. I don't know, I think this is a steel wheel. I also used it to clean up like the housing and etc. But anyways, so I am going to grease all the parts, put them back together now that I know I have a working motor. And as you can see, that's dried grease all over this. I'm gonna scrape a lot of that off because I don't think it's supposed to be there. And then the connection points, I think this is for the parking brake because it connects to this side of the wheel and does different things. Not sure. But anyways, I will show you guys when I got it all working. And for those of you who didn't know, this is where your windshield wiper motor mounts onto. This little bolt right here, I didn't know what that was for until I just realized that that is actually the ground to the body. So the screws aren't it. And I thought this, well, I mean that strap right there, this strap. Oh, I can't even show you, but anyways, so see that little guy? That's where it connects, so I made sure I got that all clean, and it won't work unless that's hooked on something. I wired in my own ground strap, just in case I'm not getting a good connection there. But it should be fine, but it's just a backup, just in case. You never be too cautious. If I'm gonna put everything back together, I want it to work. Skipped a few steps, of course, putting it back together, but just wanted to show that they work. They usually go back down when they're supposed to. But anyways, got them working, got them back together.